Hello, namaste. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook, and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to share some guidance for this weekend, the 18th and 19th of May. The sun is literally just rising here behind me. It's the start of Saturday here, Saturday the 18th of May, and I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia. It is Saturday at exactly 7:33 a.m. So, I trust that you're feeling good and things are in good flow for you. It's so lovely to be here. Extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. If you're new to watching, then welcome. First of all, I'm not doing personal reading requests here today. This is general guidance for everyone. What I'm going to be doing is using my combined Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with my Speed of Light Oracle cards. These have been combined to make a 110 card deck, and I'll be using this deck to look for the best card for Saturday, the best card for Sunday, and then the best card for the theme for Saturday and Sunday. So like I said, I'm not doing personal readings here today. I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I also trust that you take on board what feels right, what resonates, what makes sense to you in these moments, and just let the rest go. So if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not information that you need to hear at this time. So there'll be parts that make sense. I'd be very surprised if every single thing that was shared made absolute sense to you. It might be the rare occasion, but most of the time it would probably be little snippets and words and parts that sort of really speak to you, and they're the things that I really encourage you to take from this connection and this sharing today, and take them into your life and see how you can implement them or use them to help support you in your life, maybe a little bit better than before. So let's get started. It's not that warm out here, and I didn't bring my scarf out. Everyone's in bed, so I didn't want to wake anybody up by going to get other things. So I'm not going to be very long sitting here, probably. I don't know. Anyway, I don't intend to be. So I'm now looking for the best card for Saturday the 18th of May. Saturday the 18th, and I trust the best card will find its way to the top. That's the most helpful for the majority of us at this time. So let's go with this. It's an Animal Kingdom, and it's this. It's the Cheetah, card 4. It says to focus on your strengths. So Saturday is very much about thinking about the things that we're good at, the things that we're strong at perhaps, or the strengths that we have. This also implies that some of us may have been focusing lately on our weaknesses, and the things we may not be as good at as other things. We're not going to be brilliant at everything, but there will be certain skills or talents or interests that we can hone in on in our life, that we can make our strengths. So for you, your strengths may be your ability to listen, and you might just be in random places and attract people that just seem to open up and talk to you. Well, if that happens, then I would probably see your listening as a strength, as a really good part of your character. Other things or another thing that comes to mind that people tend to, get away from me sort of strength is our sensitivity. I really feel our sensitivity can be a strength. And we can use our sensitivity and our ability to be empathic and sensitive to energy, sensitive to other people's feelings or perspectives in things. I really feel that these are strengths. And I see a lot of people see sensitivity as a weakness. So what this is implying is that there's perhaps something that we're perceiving as a weakness at this time about ourselves or about our life that is actually a strength. So we're being encouraged to look at situations right now, especially when it comes to our strengths and weaknesses, from another perspective. If you want to strengthen a weakness, something you perceive as weak about yourself, then Saturday feels to be supportive of taking steps to strengthen those sort of weaknesses that we may perceive. So it's very much a personal perception thing, but something to maybe consider looking outside the box of how we may have been perceiving or seeing our personality, our strengths, our weaknesses. So focus on our strengths, the things that we're good at, and using our strengths to help support our weaknesses. Maybe another angle to look at this. So see how that feels for you. And you know, we're not brilliant at everything. So sometimes we've got to step back and let other people that are more competent at something to lead that something. We don't have to be know-it-alls and think that we're strong and skilled in every single area. So sometimes too, this card is about recognizing that, hey, this person has more experience and more skill, more strength in this area, so I'm going to step back and support them. I'm going to step back and let them be the strength in this situation. And so I'm thinking, from my perspective, it's Saturday morning here. I've just not long woken up, and I've got a lot of family coming today to help rebuild my shed over here, my workshop that burned down in March. And there's probably going to be a lot of chefs, a lot of people that want to lead this build, if you like. But we have to focus, and I will be, and I'll be reminding my children and other people around me that this person has the experience. So this person is the strong leader in this particular rebuild. So, you know, it depends what we're going through personally on Saturday, but very much about let's focus on our strengths. And we might also surprise ourselves and be stronger at something than we might have thought. So there's that other angle as well. So it's really about seeing how our Saturday unfolds. Welcome back. We had a little bit of a glitch, which is very common. So, yeah, Saturday, focus on our strengths. So now I'm looking for the best card for Sunday, the 19th of May. So Sunday the 19th. Now I didn't do or share any guidance for Friday, so that's just not something you're going to find from me, but this happens. I don't get to be in here every single day of the year. So in those days you might want to grab your own deck of cards and pull a card for yourself, or just let your intuition be your guide. I wouldn't like you to rely on these and panic if they're not here one day or 2 days. So just think of this as a support or a guide. It's lovely to see you all. So Sunday the 19th of May, let's see which card wants to come to the top. And it's this, another Animal Kingdom. And it's this, it's the the sea dragon. We have these in our waters around Tasmania, and they're beautiful. Sea Dragon card 18 says to be gentle with yourself. So there's a gentleness that comes in from the Sea Dragon, reminding us to be gentle with ourselves, especially emotionally. But it's our mind that becomes hard on ourselves when we're feeling maybe a little bit more sensitive than usual on an emotional level. So this isn't just about an emotional gentleness, it's also about a mental gentleness, and maybe thinking of how we can think or be kinder to ourselves or gentler to ourselves on a mental level. So with our attitude, in other words, how can our attitude be kinder and gentler towards us if we're feeling a little bit more sensitive, maybe on Sunday. But we're being encouraged to go gently. And it's one of the things that I always come back to as a tool to help support me when I'm struggling is to remind myself to be gentle with myself. We seem to forget when we're going through our struggles and our challenges in life. We tend to be very harsh and very critical with ourselves. And one of the best gifts I've found that I can give to myself when I'm feeling that way is to remind myself to go gently. Gently does it. Don't be so hard on myself. And it just sort of takes the pressure off somehow. So if you've been putting the pressure on yourself, if things haven't been working out the way you hoped and you've just been really harsh with yourself, then it might be important to remind yourself to be gentle. Be gentle and kind with you. Also, if you're going through quite a challenging time right now in your life, then gentleness will be what helps you get through that. So think about what you can do to support yourself better, especially from an angle of gentleness or kindness or softness. So there's a delicacy to this card, treating ourselves delicately and lovingly and kindly on Sunday. So that's the Sea Dragon. Okay, let's now look for the best card for the theme for Saturday and Sunday. So the theme card will help bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for the weekend. Okay. Will it be another Animal Kingdom Oracle card? That's what I'm firstly interested to see. So the best card for the theme for this weekend is this. It's a Speed of Light Oracle. Oh, this brings an intensity to the weekend. We've got the Tree Maiden, card 42. It says endings, surrender, growth, and illumination. This is a very potent card. It brings intensity and it brings potency. So just from the other cards, the Cheetah, the focus on our strengths, and the Sea Dragon, being gentle with ourselves, they're sort of a little bit subtle and gentle. But this card for the theme brings a potency to the weekend, which might be now I can see a different perspective of the other cards, reminding us to be gentle, focus on our strengths to help us through the intensity. So things might be quite potent. There's also a feeling when this card comes up of things being blown out of proportion. So we might be making mountains out of molehills, or making things worse or more dramatic and larger and scarier than they really need to be. So it's going to be important for us to keep perspective. I already mentioned that on Saturday, but this is from a different perspective. To keep perspective, make sure we're seeing things as clearly and honestly and openly and from a perspective of truth as much as possible. So there may be some people, including ourselves, that may blow things out of proportion in conversations or in interactions. So we're just going to have to navigate that if and as it arises. Why these things are coming to the surface? Because some of these things, or some of these parts of ourselves, the way we react, the way we respond, the way we blow things out of proportion, or the way we interact with certain people that trigger us, needs to come to an end. So the potency is coming up to the surface and being revealed so that we can do something about it, so that we can probably bring things to an end. Now, this might be quite a physical thing. It might be the ending of things in our life. But this feels very much about our own personal perspective and attitude, our own flaws, our own issues that have been tainting what's really going on out there. It might be a bit loud this weekend. So let's remember to look at whatever's coming up to the surface honestly. Let's try not to make it as dramatic as it might feel, but keep perspective this weekend and think about what about this stuff that's being revealed or that's been triggered do we need to release? Do we need to let go of now? So there's parts of our life, parts of ourselves especially, that have expired. They don't support who we've become. So those little quirky attitudes and little quirky things about ourselves are probably going to be triggered and stirred and revealed. So let's pay close attention, but also let's step back and be the observer as best as we can. And if we're seeing the situation very close up, it's going to feel louder and bigger and scarier. So if we can step back and look at things maybe from, okay, what are our strengths in this? What are our weaknesses in this? And what is this trying to teach me? And then in regards to Sunday's card, how can I approach this with more gentleness, more kindness? So these types of things that have been talked about are probably a roundabout way of looking at things from a different angle that takes us to the same core, the same spot in the middle. What that spot in the middle is going to be personal for us. So that spot in the middle of this tree kind of feels like a burnt out tree stump. And we're going to be wandering around this tree stump looking at things potentially from different angles this weekend to work out what that centre core is trying to teach and tell us about ourselves. What about ourselves do we need to change? So a leopard might not be able to change its spots, but we certainly can change ourselves. So what about ourselves this weekend do we need to change and improve? So some things to think about if you're open to that. That's the Tree Maiden. Our theme card for this weekend. I trust this resonates and makes sense for you and supports you. I've used my combined Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with my Speed of Light Oracle. These are available now. If you want to learn more about them, please have a look on my website at templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you want to connect more privately, just send us a message through our website. So I have new crystal pendants and new crystal earrings that I've made this week, just gone, and they've just been released on the website a day or two ago. So if you're inspired to have a look, please do. We've also got events coming up in June in Melbourne and in Hobart in July, and also our Tasmania Healing Retreat in February. So if you want to learn more about any of those events, please have a look on my website. We've also got our chakra series, my brand new chakra series. I did one in 2012. I did a chakra series in 2016, and it's about time I did another one. So a nice refreshed chakra series is coming to our Pillar of Light family in June. So I look forward to connecting with you, all of you, for that. It will be 7 different healing events focused on the 7 major chakras. So really looking forward to exploring those further with you in June. So if you want to become a Pillar of Light family member to enjoy that and connect with it too, please have a look on my website. It's just $10 for the month. So even if you just exchange $10 to connect with the chakra series, I think it's going to definitely be worth it. So have a look if you're inspired to on my website. So thank you so much for connecting today. I trust you have a fantastic weekend, and I will be back to share with you again very, very soon. So thank you. Sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Namaste.